the councils saying no. So you had local councils that said no thank you, and you had, this is not how democracy works. Democracy has been hijacked. It's been hijacked for years now by special interest, fossil fuel industry, and ecocidal and destructive companies. Okay. Our third. Where are they from? The Red Rebels. The Red Rebels are all volunteers. They're from all over. You can become one as well if this is something that you feel strongly. But yeah, if you go to stophs2.org, there's information there for you about why HS2 is so destructive and why it's an ecocidal product. Here we have nature protecting itself. We have Vickers, and we have Christian Climate Action, and Buddhists, and doctors, and teachers, and lawyers, and scientists. You know, we're all here, but where's the government? The government is an archaic building. What is happening at the moment, though, is Caroline Lewis is presenting the climate and ecological emergency in Parliament. So this is a bill. Yes, we have another rebel making it to the top. So they are exhausted. They've used so much of the energy today, and we thank them. We thank them for the energy used. You can do it! Well done! Well done! Okay, good. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
You're doing great. We remember all climbing trees as kids and how much we enjoyed it. We loved it. Yes, direct action works. So we invite people to still come down, come down to Parliament Square. The Climate and Ecological Emergency Bill also calls for Citizens' Assembly. And, some of the things let's look at differences between current democracy and citizens' assemblies. In a citizens' assembly, 27% of us have some form of higher education. 2.9% of us are from Northern Ireland. About 29.4% of us are age 60 and above. 51% of us are women. 17% of us will have a disability. 15% of us are from a black or minority ethnic background. 11 of us are from the northwest of England. 22% of us are age 60 to 29. Only 13 of us are from London, because remember, this is a representative.
A round of applause there for the sacrifice these rebels are making. Why they're in handcuffs, I don't know. Everything here has been non-violent.
Hi everyone, if you're joining us just now, I just wanted to say we are at...
And other people might not, but basically, for example, when I got on top of Bristol City Hall, it was a civil trespass and the police did not get involved. Yeah, that's Mushroom up there. She goes by many names, Rosie. So it could be that this is a civil trespass matter. In most places that would be the case, I imagine. However, given this is Parliament Square, there may be additional things in place. As I'm not one of the people who's gone up climbing, I don't know what the exact legal situation is. I'm sure everyone else is briefed. But certainly we expect the police would try and arrest the people up these trees for something. Fuck you, HS2! Let's see if we can have a chat with Swan. Take us down here and check the other climbers down this end. Sorry? Hey,
I hope the world or the
if you like what these people are doing, getting the trees, well, this is about the most length that you can go to try and stop HS2. There's a lot easier things that people at home that are watching could be doing. One, write to your MP, write to all your local councillors, just tell them to object to HS2 and tell them to back the climate and ecological emergency bill. Next thing that you can do, at the bottom of this post you'll see a link to our new crowdfunder. It's just been changed, the way that it distributes funds. All that money will now be given to all the different camps along the line, no matter their exact affiliation. They don't have to be a part of HS2 Rebellion specifically, they just have to be a protection camp fighting HS2. So if you make any donations, that's going to be spread out across the line to help all these wonderful people to carry on doing stuff like this. Disruptive things to stop HS2 and performative stuff to try and get the government to pay attention. Oh, I wonder who that secret person is. Oh, I wonder.
countless people's homes and costing billions of money to taxpayers, because this is the government, is taxpayers' money that's going into this crazy scheme. So we're here to help bring some London rebels and bring you guys to camps along the line, because we really need support right now. We really need you guys to come down, and especially in September when things are starting to kick off, felling season is happening, trees are being cut down without bat licenses, without nesting licenses. It's all really illegal, and the police are working with HS2 against us, so it is really not great at the moment, but hopefully this amazing tree climbing things that these guys are doing is hopefully going to bring some people down so we can build it and create some really cool stuff next week.
Oh yes, yes, it's a beautiful saying. It says we can make it better when we make it together.
Damn right.
So thanks so much. Yeah, so everyone listening to that, you know, the HS2 rebels are also a lovely bunch, you know, very rebellious. Come and learn how to do tree climbing. Some of us had quit our jobs last year while up a protest tree. Because when you know maybe the job you're doing at the moment is not serving humanity, not really using your energies as well as they can be used during this pivotal point. Would you like to make okay, this one. Okay. Right. So we have a. Oh yes, you just talk to me. That's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna give this to you, so you can just hold that and just speak.
Oh, speak into it.
Right up there. Yeah. Good. It's all good.
Okay. So it's absolutely fabulous today that these young people have managed to get up the trees. It was a relatively small action to start with, but see how everybody has come together to facilitate it. And it's so important because I live in Warwickshire, where I have been seeing the destruction every single day from September last year, when people said that this project was under review, and it never was. They were still working, and we've been going out nearly every day trying to stop the work. And then hundreds of other people have been keyboard warriors, writing to MPs, checking out the different companies. We wish no ill towards the workers. I mean, it's a really difficult thing to do. But then they are complicit in the destruction, especially the tree fellers. Absolutely horrendous. And they're being paid an absolute fortune to destroy our planet.
I just want to maybe quickly say I saw on one of the live streams, not only are they destroying the pathway of the actual train, but they're rerouting some roads. So
Absolutely. Yeah, they're taking out trees and hedgerows all over the place. They're building compounds the size of airports and building roads that facilitate the bringing in of enormous machinery. So it's not just a railway that's the size of a blooming motorway in many cases.
And maybe for people that are saying, but also this is public transport, it must be green. You know, some of the
it won't be green. It will never be green because the destruction it's doing now. But it was. They say themselves that it won't be carbon neutral for 125 years. And even so, everything that they're doing now, all the machinery, there's so much that is being destructive. When they're drilling, they plan to drill into the Chilterns and another village hill. They need millions of litres of water to do this, and we are short on water now.
So where are the rebels most needed to come and support?
Well, at all the camps, they really need to come. And we've got about 8 different places up in Warwickshire at the moment that needs help. So that would be phenomenal.
And how does the Harwell Road look? Harwell Road was just beautiful. It was next to the Hillingdon Outdoor Centre. If you go search for Hillingdon Outdoor Centre, you'll see the amazing beauty.
It was beautiful, but it's all going. It is simply going. It's I cannot tell you. And it's not just the trees, but it's the wildlife. And the ecologists come in and they put tape round the trees to say, oh yes, there's something living here. We won't fell it today. And the ecologist told me, he said, it won't be felled unless one of them is here, an ecologist. But what does that do? It just delays it. And if they felled all the trees all around it, what wildlife is going to stay there? Would you want somebody coming into your house and ripping out your sink and then taking your bed and then taking the loo? You'd be absolutely panic-stricken.
So the citizens need to be able to be informed about what it really needs and where they decide to be.
There is so much wrong with this project, and it's just the politicians are too weak, and I cannot, too unintelligent. They have to be brave. I wrote to Boris Johnson back in September when he became Prime Minister and said, or October, whenever it was, and said, you could be really admired if you stopped this project and changed the course of history. He still could, but he's a bit bloody late.
But we can.
It is still in his hands, because who wants 115 billion spent on this destructive project. Nobody does.
Exactly. So for everyone at home, there's no business case, there's no environmental case, there's no money to pay for it. It is ridiculous. You go to stophs2.org, go to their website, stophs2.org. Also on HS2 Rebellion, on Facebook, HS2 Rebellion. It's one of these projects that is just making. So thank you so much. Thanks so much. It's one of these projects that is making so much money for private interests, for private corporations. That it's just being pushed through government, through lobbying, and this is where the Citizens Assembly come in. Where the citizens can be educated about the issue by experts. And similar to a jury duty, so you're getting paid. It's also not a weekend job. It's a long process. But citizens get presented with all the facts. It is representative of the citizens of the country. Where at the moment we know, we need climate action, but all we actually end up getting is an eaten mess. So again, here we have, guys, these are also tree protectors. You can come down, if you're a rock climber, get in touch with HS2 Rebellion. We need more people to protect the trees. And again, that website is stophs2.org. They've been going before the rebellions. They've been spending a lot of their energy. Some people camping there full time for years already with this disastrous project, which is costing hundreds of billions. Yeah, indeed, HS2 is currently polluting 3.3 million people's drinking water. So, stophs2.org has been going for 12 years, so like many of you, before Extinction Rebellion came along, you knew there were some issues, but you always thought it is far off, somewhere else, some other country doing destruction. And one of the great things about Extinction Rebellion is it showed us that there's been people, they weren't called rebels, they were called conscientious protectors, they were called activists, they were called environmentalists, and they've been in trees for years before Extinction Rebellion came along. They've been in trees, they've swampy, they've been protecting nature for much longer than many of us have been alive. And it is time now for us as humanity to consciously make the decision that business as usual is over. We are not going back to the way it was. So there's a camp in Harville Road. Harville Road, it's just outside of London. It's north of London. Hey. So if you don't necessarily see yourself as someone who's going to protest, but you love tree climbing, go and have a look at HS.
Learn from those older activists who've been doing stuff a long time. The same people who taught us how to lock on are now teaching us new techniques, how to cause real disruption to the corporate entities that are screwing up our environment. And if you want to get involved and learn how to do that too, come on down to the camps. There's ones in Kenilworth, near Birmingham. There's ones here in London. The most recent one has been set up actually in Euston, right by Euston Station. So anyone in London can get there really easy. come on by, learn how to climb a tree. Also in London, in Denham County Park, it's in Uxbridge, just outside of London, but there's a long time camp there as well, and many more in between. So yeah, you've really got no excuse. Loads of places to go, loads of things to do. Whatever your talent is, just bring it. Like, bring your music stuff, and like have fun and do activism. Come and join us. Is HS2 now building are going to last for a really long time, and they have to. Wow! Wow! Whoa! Well, that was unexpected. Another activist from HS2 Rebellion. Can I ask if you want to say anything on Facebook?
What are you asking me?
I'm going to ask you why HS2 and not another cause?
Why HS2 and not another cause? I think because HS2 really galvanises on so many issues in this country. It's relevant to the climate crisis. It's relevant to our unjust, corrupt government who are making money for people who lobby government. It's an unjust amount of money being spent on a railway for a upper class, whilst, victims of Grenfell haven't even been housed yet. It is an issue that touches upon so many things wrong with this country, and if we win it and if we fight against the powers that be, then what's next? We can do anything if we stop HS2. But it's really an issue that just brings so many bad things to this country together. The climate, the unjust economic situation, all sorts.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know if I have a follow-up question, because I think that was excellent.
No sweat, man.
Cheers. Exactly. So, there's so many causes out there. I'm not trying to say that, putting your time into any of those isn't worth it. But I think that I agree with our friend there that basically if you come and fuck with HS2, what you're doing is protesting against not just a train line, but against the very systems of oppression that come straight down from our government, and it affects every single one of us in so many different ways. It's not just the environmental damage that they're doing, which is obviously affecting every single one of us young people, particularly in our futures. There's so many different social issues, just where they should be spending money, the way that this thing happened in the first place. HS2